Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Saxe this September 20, 2020. Let's take a deep breath together. Filling our lungs completely, holding it at the top and then exhaling fully, relaxing the body, relaxing the mind, clearing our minds of distractions, list of things to do, things that may be crowding your mind from your morning. Perhaps you're anticipating the week to come. Give yourself permission just to be. And center yourself in that peace that is always available to us, that peace within us, that peace that is us, expresses as us, the divine moving through us, the divine expressing itself through us in our gifts. So we open our hearts and our minds now, knowing and affirming that there is treasure to be found in our time together this morning and afternoon. Wisdom to be gained, insights to behold, spiritual food that will nourish our mind, body, soul, and spirit. We are deeply grateful for this opportunity to come together as a community. Whether we sit within this physical structure or we are somewhere else in the state of Texas or around the nation or the world, we are one people, one heart, one love, one peace. Yes, we are one. We are one. And as we remain steeped in gratitude, we prepare ourselves for our centering song, Spirit's Prayer.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all Spirit dwells in me now and evermore.
Let's say together the children's blessing. Children of light, we see you guided and directed by an inward spirit that leads you into the path that is right for you. We see you strong and whole. We see you blessed and prospered. We see you courageous and confident. We see you as the spiritually perfect beings you truly are. Children of light, we bless you. In this inspiration moment from 365 Science of Mind, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. I believe there is but one spirit in which everyone lives, moves, and has his being. In this spirit, I am directly unified with all people. I recognize spirit as individualized in everyone. Therefore, I am learning to see in every person I meet in the light of this divine and changeless truth. There is one spirit diffused throughout all humanity. With this spirit in everyone, I hold communion. In a hand clasp, I feel its warmth and color. In the exchange of thought, I feel the presence of mind and the activity of the divine mind. In the blessing of friendship, I sense its love. I am separated from none, united with all, and one with the eternal light itself. As I go among people, I know that the presence of pure spirit within me, which I recognize, blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. I am the vine, you are the branches. John 15:5. So if we can say together the 3 times, please. I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live.
You call me out upon the water, the great unknown. deepest waters, your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you've never failed and you won't start now. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. Let me walk upon the water in the presence of the sacred. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the sacred. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine.
Good morning. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to have some Facebook communication with somebody who was responding to a post that we made. And he was saying that when we use the male pronoun to describe God, that perhaps we are putting God in a box. And maybe that's the case. We went back and forth and talked about that a little bit. And of course, in Unity, when we think about things metaphysically, we don't take things literally all the time. So when we have scripture and the convention is to use male pronouns, that's something we don't take for granted. I mean, we just don't. We hear it, we say it, we're used to it, and we know that God is so much more. But in it's one thing to think it and to use those pronouns and put God in a box that way. It's another thing to compartmentalize your life and let God have access to certain parts of your life and not others. I did that for many, many years, where I trusted with some things but not others. And it kind of took it was a journey for me. In the beginning, my relationship with God was a Sunday morning thing for the 45 minutes I was in Mass at church. And that's when I did my God thing. And then you get in the car and you go home, and it's no more God until later, unless you have prayer because something has happened. And of course, when we have troubles in our lives, that's when we run to God and we pray, oh God, don't let this happen, or please fix it, please save me. And then usually we're not immersed in God at any other time. And that was my life, and I know many other people lived like that as well. And it was only when I started to think less about God as something out there, as something in a box, as an entity that saved me from things, and thought about God as energy and love and a force of nature, the force that is nature, that I started to kind of peel the onion back with my life and let God in again, because there is no letting in. I mean, through our consciousness, we let things in. And I started to kind of drop the walls about where I thought God was suitable in my life and others not so much. Which all sounds very funny now. But those are the games we play with ourselves. And depending on how you think about God, that might make a whole lot of sense, because it made a whole lot of sense to me at the time. And that's just what God was. God was something I did and thought about and praised on Sunday. And then I realized that didn't really work for me. Life was emptier. I felt life was more desperate most of the time. And as I opened up my understanding of God and I started to trust with more and more areas of my life started to open up and become more peaceful, happier, more joyful. My relationships got better. So I think in the beginning I started trusting with my heart. And what did I feel? And what did I think God had to do with my feelings? If I became distraught or if I was grieving, then I would talk to God in those moments and become calmer. And so I started trusting with my emotions, my emotional life, letting God have my heart as if there was something out there that could grab onto my heart and make it better and make me feel better and give me comfort. A lot of prayers that I prayed as a little girl in church going to Mass were about giving me comfort. Make me feel better here. Make this okay again. Make this okay. But when I started thinking of God as love, and as myself as that same love, then my emotions just kind of chilled out. And there was no longer this roller coaster ride of emotion all the time. I was white-knuckling it through life less often. So I peeled back and allowed the divine into my heart first. And then after that, it became my relationships, and particularly around finding a mate. Because I really had, and I've talked about this before, I had been trying this on my own, a trial and error kind of thing. You know, you have a relationship, it doesn't work, so you try something different. And I was figuring out what wasn't working in that relationship, so I wouldn't carry it into the next one. And things got better and better and better. But when I started meditating and thinking of myself as love and realizing that I had love to give, then I was automatically calling in more love into my life and more people who were loving me with their full selves. And as I was loving with my full self. And so there's another part of my life where I let love, God, in. And I opened up another compartment that I had in my life. After that, it was my calling. What am I doing? What am I doing here? Because I thought, you know, like most of us, you go to school, you're in grade school, you start thinking about what do you want to go to college. That was, you know, we were required to go to college in my house. And so you started thinking about what do I want to study? What do I want to be when I grow up? And so you get a job And then you come out of college and you start working, whether you end up in your field of study or not, and life just happens, doesn't it? And you get in the groove, and you're just in there working on that hamster wheel, and you get a paycheck and you pay your bills, and years go by, and you're at a job 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, some of us 4 years, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I don't know that we stop and think, why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I just on a track? Or have I let God into that part of my life? When I started asking, why am I here? And why am I in this particular job? And is this what I was created for? It was quite the thing to start thinking that perhaps I was created for something special. Rather than just here because, my parents gave birth to another child. Some accident. And that I was just here, and you just start living, and it has no real significance. But as I let down the walls, as I broke open another compartment that I had God in and let God into my work life, my mission, my reason to be, then I started to realize that even though I may have had the same job, my internal reason for being there shifted. It shifted. And so the same things I kind of do in this ministry, I ended up doing on some level in the job I had, no matter where I was working. Because if you're called to be a particular thing, I think you show up as that thing no matter what you're doing. Whether you're taking care of a child, babysitting at the grocery store, tending to the garden, relaxing in your relationship, I think you show up as that particular thing. You shine that particular gift in the world no matter what it is you're doing. It's not separate from everything else. There's not a mission over here and then the rest of your life, unless that's where you put it. Unless you stick it in a compartment and say, I'm only my divine self when I show up at the spiritual center on Sunday. Other than that, I'm at my job. My divinity has nothing to do how I show up at my job. My divinity doesn't show up when I'm in the grocery store. Compartmentalizing God into different areas, choosing. And then when I started to really realize and feel that calling and a mission and have some insight about who I am and why I'm here, feeling that in my heart of hearts, then work became less stressful. Work became something different. In fact, work wasn't really work anymore. It was another opportunity to go out and express my heart through everything. It just became different. And so there was one more wall that I let down. Another stack of bricks that I kicked open and said, okay, I'm going to let God in this area now. Not thinking about that God is everywhere and in everything. But in our consciousness, if we stick God in a certain box, of course that's where he, she, it, source, creator, whatever you want to call it. I have a friend who calls God George. That's where George is. So what do you think about God, and where do you think God is, and what have you trusted God with? What have you trusted God? As if there's an entity that you can trust. Of course, we think of here at Unity, God is energy. God is the allness of being. The fathomless ocean in which we swim, in which we are a drop or a wave that expresses as the ocean. And so there are no compartments in the ocean. It's just open and flooded, and you're in it. A fish doesn't live in one little section, one little corner of the ocean. There is no corner of the ocean.
was gonna say, how neat it would be to, be able to invite him to everywhere we go.
Absolutely.
Like to the grocery store, like whenever I go, hey honey, are you gonna go, let's go to the grocery store. Being that same way with our dad, like if he was a real dad there and nobody was able to watch him, let's just say. So just having that beautiful deal where you go, hey, come on, hang with me to, get in that type of a relationship where when dad's with you, that's what I want.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
And then
I want.
every moment becomes sacred and becomes special.
Yes, right, honey.
Every moment. So you can be in aisle 15 looking at cereal. And that can be special.
Yes. How nice.
We go through our days so quickly sometimes it becomes mundane. And we forget how special it is. What if in each moment, when you had a moment to think, you thought, God is in this moment here, right now. And this is sacred too. That affirmation we just said aloud 3 times. I'm a blessing to myself. How many times? We always think about being a blessing to someone else. Or other people being a blessing to us. How often do you think about being a blessing to yourself? The kindest, most loving friend you have is yourself. Because you know and because you identify as love. And that God's not out there showering it upon you, that you have called it in and recognized yourself as that force. There is no separateness. And again, there's only a compartment if you build one and stick God in there and say, okay, God, you can have this, but you can't have my finances. I did that for decades. Yeah, she can find me a mate, and I'll trust that. But I got this job, and I know what's happening here. I know how much money I have. I know how much I'm going to make. It's all preordained. There's only but so much. I'm only going to have this. I'm only going to have that. I can't have that. Can't have this. Because that's not me. So you have a compartment around your finances and around your livelihood. And maybe you're not letting God in there. Or maybe it is your relationships, because you've turned off from love. You've had your heart broken. And you think, I either don't deserve it or I'm just not going to get it. I tried. He or she's just not showing up. So maybe I'm not supposed to have it. And so you let love, with a capital L, flood into all other parts of your life, but you cleave off your heart and think, oh, that's different. I've really driven this in the ditch. God can't do a thing with that. Good luck, God. Good luck finding the right one for me.
And he's in it anyway.
He's in it anyway, but we don't see it.
Just go ahead and
We got the blinders on, like the horse with the blinders on. And you see just the little thing that you've constructed in your life, choking off life with a capital L in that area. You're the one who chokes it off. God's in there, and if God was an entity that could speak, he's saying, bless her heart, look at her. She's just out there bungling around, one relationship after another. Honey, there's love right here. All the love you want is right here. Right here. Hello? Me. Me. If God was an entity that could speak, that's probably what he, she, it would say. Well, I gave it all to you, and you still crawl up in the corner in the dark, crying about what you don't have. I gave it all to you here. here, and it's closer than here. It's here. It's flooding inside of you, head to toe, and it can't even be contained in your skin. It's so amazing. And we still walk around saying, I don't have this, I can't have that. It's not meant for me. Oh, they're lucky enough, but not me. Compartments. I had a whole set of them for every single part of my life. And I think, unfortunately for me, I ended up opening up a compartment when I was finally on my knees saying, okay, I really just messed that up completely. I give up. I surrender. And then I let God in again. Now you can have it. Now you can have it. I messed it up. That's usually when I gave up. That's usually when I opened the door or I kicked open the compartment and said, this too. Maybe I can let love with a capital L in here. And then you see the beauty just creep into that part of your life, and you go, oh, God really does have it going on. Yeah. As if we're surprised, and we are. We're surprised that suddenly you could have something you'd always told yourself you couldn't have. But we're the ones who construct the box. And goodness is just simmering underneath, chasing us around even. If you believe that philosophy, that love is seeking us even as we are seeking it. But we're running around like this, bungling around in the dark. What did we talk about a couple of weeks ago? We got the light switch right here to turn on the light. But we're slapping the wall up and down around the switch without flipping the switch and letting the light on. It's always right there, the current, the force. The love is always right there. And you keep saying, oh, my name's not on that switch. We got to be willing to open up the doors. Like Lainey sang in that song, Trust Without Borders. Fathomless trust. Some of us were joking a little earlier that we don't swim in water where we can't see what's under us. So I'm not swimming in a lake if I can't see the bottom of the lake, because I don't know what's under there. Getting ready to brush up against me, scare me to death, slither by. Big old bass. Stuff of nightmares for me. So yes, I agree. Unless I can see in the water, I'm not swimming in it. I'm not swimming in it. And that's how we live our lives. Unless I can see it, I'm not going in there. Nope. Can't have that part of my life because I can't see it. You're not showing it to me yet. And faith requires that we just say, I'm going in. I'm diving in the water. Doesn't matter that I can't see it. Because I know it's all good. I know it's all good, so I'm safe to dive in. No safety net, no compartments, no nothing. I'm opening up my whole life and letting love in, and I'm using love as synonymous with God. I'm letting love into every single area, right here, right now. Jumping into the deep.
Hey, Kim, and then I've noticed on myself, like, when I've done that and then stuff starts happening really, really good, that, you'll hear, like, God, like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, shh, be quiet. I don't need you.
That's right, I got this now.
Yeah, forget it. I don't need you right now. I'll ask you that question later,
Yeah.
Yeah, and here you go, right back to
Because I think that might be part of our human nature, because we get comfortable. You know, you hear, I heard all the time, people always say God is good all the time. And yet what we do is run to God when stuff goes awry. When if we were to immerse ourselves, like we said, in every single moment, to say, God is in this moment, in this place, within me, right here, right now, all the time, closer than my fingertips, it would change life for us, how we experience life. Again, no matter what kind of chaos is going on outside of us. You can have hard times without suffering. Hard times. They're just times. We've just judged them as hard. We put that into a compartment and said, love's not there. That's a hard time. That's a challenging time. I hate this. I don't like this. And so God can't possibly be in there. Can't possibly. We put those blinders back on. We lock God up into that compartment one more time. So we let him in, put him back, stick him back in the box. Take him out, put him back in the box. Yeah. Not today, God. I got this. I'm feeling good. Feeling good. 2 days later, something hits the skids, and you're like, oh, where's God? Let me get God out again. So we keep picking and choosing. Not today, tomorrow. I'm doing pretty good today. I don't need to have this awareness of spirit, of love, because I'm feeling real good right now. And then you run right back when it feels like stuff is going wrong. So do you have compartments? Think about that. Are there things where you're not trusting? Areas of your life where you're just not there and you're not ready to open your arms wide and say, let's do this, let's co-create this in total love. And knowing, even at its best, it can always get better. That's what I'm experiencing. And when your awareness is open, when your arms are open wide, and you have these magical moments, you start seeing magic everywhere, even in aisle 15 with the cereal.
That's right.
Even when you're seeing it there, there's still more. Because love is unlimited, fathomless, goodness, beneficence, power, grace, strength is infinite. And the more you open your arms, the more you see it, the more you expand this consciousness and kick open those doors. In fact, get rid of the doors. Have no walls. And just be open to all there is. Just be open. Wake up in the morning and say, I'm open to all goodness that's rushing to my life right here and right now and every single moment. Call it in before anything else starts to seep into your consciousness. Open your eyes and say, I see only goodness and light. I experience only goodness and light. I experience only vibrant health. All of my relationships are peaceful and calm and overflowing with love. I love who I am and what I'm called to be. I'm a blessing to myself, to all humankind, and to every moment in every day, in everything in which I live and move and have my being. Just be open. And soon as any half negative thought, a fraction of a thought comes in to try to get in there, just call it back in again. Say it out loud. Just like Dr. Phil would say, that dog don't hunt in my yard. Something starts to creep back in. Sorry, don't do that. I see goodness and light. I'm calling it in. That's all I have. That's all I experience. That's all I'm here for. Goodness and grace and love and life and peace. And say it till you feel it, till you believe it, until you are it. More than belief. Embrace it, feel it, embody it. Feel it coursing through your veins. Feel it in your bones. There are no boxes unless you construct it and hammer it with nails and put a lock on the door.
And you know how the world seems to be going like in chaos and all these things. And then last Sunday, we were going to lunch, and Mike and Cece were with us. We were going out the door, and this guy was painting the outside of the glass, and he had to move his ladder so that we could come out of the store. And as soon as we came out of the store, we said, "Hey, thank you so much for letting us out." He goes, "Hey, can I pray with you guys? I mean, how long has it been since anybody's said that to us? Asked us to pray with us. Man, we hooked in there like little kids. Weren't we? We were like, oh my God, yes, like going to tell us a play story or something. It was like right up what we love, praying and being with Daddy, and oh man, that is just beauty in itself.
Yeah.
It just turns me on.
Yeah. How nice is that?
Yeah.
Just leaving a restaurant.
Yeah. Somebody wants to pray with me, I'd be like, oh, heck yes. Instead of the old people, I'd be,
Yeah.
this guy's a freak.
Let it all in.
He opened the door to God.
Yes.
He walked out.
Yeah. It wasn't just the mere opening of a door. Yeah. He opened the door to love. And you all walked through right into it. Yeah. And stood in love with him. Yeah, that's what can happen. We can have that in our lives in each moment of every day. All the time. So what were you going to choose? You can keep your boxes if you want. As I say, we're going to love you anyway. You can have your boxes if that works for you. But if it doesn't, if you think you want more, start small. I did. Open the door a crack, let a little love in, open it a little bit more next week. You can do it in a day, you can do it in a moment, or you can do it in 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, or you can always choose to have the boxes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't negate God. It doesn't actually put God in that box. But then you have that compartment. You have that contraction in your life when you can just open up the doors, kick the walls down, and say, I'm stepping fully into love every single day with wild abandon. Let's take this into meditation. Let's just breathe together. Just let your awareness go wild. No doors, no walls, no compartments, no boxes. Shedding our narrow-mindedness about who we are, what we're here to be in this world. bursting the bubble of complacency. Shaking off the dust in some areas of our lives where we've just not wanted to trust. Envision yourself standing in your full power with your arms wide open. Arms wide open. Letting love rush to you, through you, and to overflow as you. Jesus said, I came that you may have life and have it abundantly. Abundance and peace, joy, prosperity, vibrant health, available monies for anything and everything that you want to do. Peace of mind in your relationships, family and friends, co-workers, colleagues, business partners, with employees. Peace everywhere. Limitless, infinite, overflowing. And you see yourself still with your arms open wide, your head up, feeling that light of the divine upon you and in you, radiating outside of you, lighting up and energizing every cell of your body, every centimeter of bone and ligament and muscle, energizing you. Your mind, body, soul, and heart are fed. And this infinite goodness that is God, that expresses as us, always was, is right now, and ever shall be. And just say yes. 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 I am grateful. I'm grateful for goodness and light. I'm grateful for love overflowing, peace abounding. Continue to breathe. Breathing in goodness and breathing out goodness, knowing that it flows back into your life unconstrained. And the more you breathe it out, the more it comes to you feeding you, nourishing you, animating you. Let's just breathe and have a moment of silence. Basking in goodness. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. So while we are basking in love and grace and goodness, let's now say the names of those that we want to pray for today. Piper. Mm-hmm.
Monica, David,
For Nancy and Dot, and for Nancy's family. For Lexine and Stephanie and Carl and family. For the Silverberg family, the Say family. Ann Griffin. For Katie and Nick and Tony. Lucille. Eddie and Reba. For Harper. Mhm. For our spiritual family,
yes,
near and far. So we know that this same goodness that we talked about today, this beneficence, is at work in all of our lives. And that each soul's highest and good is now at work in their lives, rushing to them, rushing through them, and all is well. All is well with their souls. And we ask this in the name and in the nature of Jesus the Christ, who is our brother and our way shower. Amen. So let's prepare for our offertory. Knowing and trusting God with our finances, with our resources, our time, treasure, and talent. And with grateful hearts, we now recite our celebration of giving. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive. And so it is. Sing this with me if you know it. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. Pete Fuentes on conga drums. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, oh, oh. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, oh, oh. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Thank you for singing with me. Thank you, Pete. I know. The band is back together. So just one announcement.
I'd like to bring some, and they're called flautas and then maracas. And that way
Actually, we
could
have
all-
some in the other room.
That would be fun. We could all join in with a little tambourine.
So it's 12 now. At 12:30, we're going to reconvene for our community meeting. So we're going to take a break. If you brought a snack, we'll have snacks and relax for a little bit, and then we'll come right back in this room. So on Facebook and on our in the newsletter that just went out, I think I sent it out Saturday morning, I believe. The link for Zoom, so you can watch the meeting and be a part of it and ask questions if you want to. If you're out there online watching, you can be a part of the meeting and watch. You don't have to be in the room. The other thing I need to do is all of the documents that we'll have, the financials, the budget and everything, I will email to everybody so that you can have them at home and you can look at all the details. We're just going to give you highlights in the meeting. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours and we're not going to do that. So check the Zoom link on Facebook. Go to events. You may have to go to upcoming events in order to find it, because sometimes it's not right up on top of the events page. So look for upcoming events if you need to. The Zoom link will be there. I think you can just click on Join Meeting, and it'll take you right into Zoom, into the Zoom room, where you can be a part of the meeting. And you can either ask questions by chat or just kind of wave. I'll see you on the laptop screen, and I'll acknowledge you. We can get your questions in if you're watching online. So please come to the meeting. Like I said, if you're not able to be there, you're still going to get the documents. You can see all the information that we have for you so that you see how we're doing. And we're doing great. And we just want to talk about it and talk about what's coming up next year and everything we did this year and celebrate together. Things are going well. So I hope you'll stick around for that. And let's bless tithes and offerings. Quentin went like this. We are deeply grateful for all the time, treasure, and talent that floods into this community, both from the people who come here and are able to sit within these beautiful walls or from people out there online further in the state of Texas and around the nation and the world, so that we can do our perfect work that we're called to do here to bring a message of peace, joy, love, and abundance to all who have their arms open wide, ready for more. And we offer this, too, in the name and the nature of Jesus the Christ. Amen. Let's have our prayer for protection. Let's recite together in all power and might. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Just close. So thank you very much for joining us. We will see you at 12:30. For those of you who are unable to be with us for the meeting, have a glorious week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thank you very much. Namaste.